you know, sometimes it takes a little bit of time to get over that. You know what I mean? He was hurt pretty bad in that fight a few times, and it just may be an adjusting process. You know, sometimes it takes a little bit of time. I can remember Marco Antonio Barrera, the great Marco Antonio Barrera. He got clipped by Junior Jones, right? And this was like 97, 98, somewhere around that time. Took a little bit of time off, got himself together, fought a couple of like lower tier fights, and then came back and put a great performance against Eric Morales. It took him about 2-3 years to get himself back. And I'm not saying it's gonna take that long for Haney, but it's hard to judge a guy on one fight, long layoff, and the guy he fought was on PEDs and heavy. That's it's a lot of stuff that weigh on your mind. I know people, you know, think he gun shy and all that kind of stuff, and I'm not saying he's not. I'm just saying that I don't want to judge a fighter on one fight. I don't think that that's fair, especially coming back from a tough performance like that.
When you said fighters, when you said PTSD is real, you were referring to fighters getting PTSD?
Just in general.
Right.
In general, like if you see somebody that had like a bad injury or traumatic thing like that, like I've had injuries before, and there's like certain areas of my body you can't touch me. You know what I mean? Or you're gonna get kicked in the head or something. I'm dead serious. Like I don't want people playing with me around certain things. And it's the same thing with getting knocked out or getting hurt bad in the fight. You can't expect a fighter to be a robot. That's not a video game where you just go right back in there and just willing to do that again. It takes a little bit of time to do that. Everybody's not wired to be like that. Like the guy Inoue, he's different. He's crazy. He get knocked down, it don't mean nothing to him. He jump right back up and go right back after you. Everybody's not wired that way. Felix Trinidad was like that. Diego Corrales was like that. Juan Manuel Marquez was like that. Them kind of guys, they was easy to drop, but they was hard to stop. And they just get up and they just like turn a switch on. Everybody's not like that. Devin's more of a boxer. So it may take him a little bit of time to get himself together to get his mojo back. And I'm not saying anything definitive with Devin. I'm just saying that we all forget that he had a tough performance. He took a lot of stuff from social media. He was knocked down 3 times. He thought he was taking his first loss, and he changed it. And now he got to get his, got to get himself back together. I think it was a good opponent, and we'll see. We'll see how things go moving forward, and see what kind of decisions they make on what kind of opponents he need to fight and all that kind of stuff.
How do you get a guy's mind back as a coach when they're going through that, when they lose traumatically, or when they receive a lot of punishment, when it's time to train again? What signs do you look for that either the fighter's ready to go or maybe he needs more time?
Well, as you know, I've done that several times in boxing. But the game is to be sold, not to be told. So I can't get into all of that.
But there's intricacies too.
Sure it is. I've done it several times. My biggest job was Caleb Plant. I got him after he got stopped by Canelo.
Absolutely.
I brought Julian Williams back after he got hit with that uppercut by Charlo to win the title against Jared Hurd. So I've done it. You know what I mean? I brought Karan Davis back, after the Benavidez fight. You know what I mean? So it is a science to it, but I'm not gonna get into that right now. Whoever got to deal with that, they got to figure it out, because I had to figure it out on my own, and it's not easy. You know what I mean? It's definitely not. Like, you got to be very, very careful with that situation. And every time is different. You know what I mean? Every fight is different. Karan, it was easy, because he was like, I took the fight on short week's notice. He never dropped me.
Right.
But he's crazy. You know what I mean? With Julian, it was a thing of, I was doing great in the fight, but I got hit with one shot.
Absolutely.
But I did a couple of things with him to build his confidence back, and I knew he would be okay. And with Caleb and Julian was similar situations. I knew Caleb was going to be okay. And the fight after Caleb got stopped by Canelo, he had the knockout of the year versus Anthony Durrell. So he wasn't scared to stick his nose back in there. But it's definitely things that you got to look for, because it's real. It's a real, real, real thing. PTSD and social media and all these fans having access to these fighters saying all of this fucked up stuff to them all the time. It's a lot of things that these fighters got to go through. And you can't tell a grown man to stay off social media, but that's what they really need to do, stay off social media. That's the number one thing, but nobody listens to that part. I'm not even gonna act like I can tell my fighters to stay off social media, because none of them listen to me. I got one fighter that'll listen to me and turn the social media off. But other than that, they all stay on social media. The next crop of fighters that I get, my younger fighters, that's gonna be something that I'm going to kind of declare to them to stay off social media. The guys I got now, they too set in their ways to get them off of social media. There's no way I could get them off at this point. But that ruins your confidence, having people say all of that bad stuff to you all the time.
And just